We walk the footsteps of our fathers, the trail blazed by our mothers. They bought the land with their blood long ago, long ago. Aiel, Ogiers, and AudioBooks, oh my. Sing of Manetheren, oh weep for the blood of Ammon. Oh cry for Manetheren, long ago, long ago. Aiel, Ogiers, and AudioBooks, oh my. Sing of Manetheren, oh weep for the blood of Ammon. Oh cry for Manetheren, long ago, long ago. Aiel, Ogiers, and AudioBooks, oh my. Sing of Manetheren, oh weep for the blood of Ammon. Oh cry for Manetheren, long ago, long ago. Aiel, Ogiers, and AudioBooks, oh my.
The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend, and legend fades to myth. And even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. Thank you guys for coming in and joining me, here to talk about my nerdy favorite fantasy book series, The Wheel of Time. Happy to see you. Starting a little early on a different day, we're going to play Catch Up with Cupcake. So let me bring everybody to the stage. Let's get Lou in here. Let's bring Cupcake in. I'm going to jump right in. Thank you guys for showing up. Annie's kind of catching up on some chapters right now. She'll join in, and Echo will be here also shortly because he's also a busy person. We all have real lives, except for me, really, I think. But Cupcake, on the road for the last couple weeks. We missed you, man. So hopefully we can catch up real quick and see how you enjoyed the last few chapters that we didn't get to chat with you about. Real quick, because of the art and stuff and the nature of your work, we kind of made you Bail Domond in the old thumbnail there.
Yeah.
And now you finally got to meet him.
Yeah.
What did you think about that character?
Right.
Yes. Captain of the Spray, Bail Domond, Fortune Brittany.
Yes. I mean, I liked his character. I'd like to see more of him. I mean, he's a no nonsense ship captain. And he, he's just a no nonsense ship captain. I want to see more.
I like him a lot. We do get to see more. Robert Jordan does introduce a lot of characters, but he doesn't introduce very many that, like with a lot of dialogue like that won't see a return. I'm not trying to spoil too much, but me and Lou were talking backstage about Elias and how he gets more presence here in the book versus the show. And I was saying, that's because later on, this is a 14-book series, so later on, if Bail Domond shows up, you might have a faint memory of him from when you were first starting the book. So I got to go way back. So there's a dynamic going on between Nynaeve and Moraine. She finally had caught up to the group and was being a bit. So Sorry, I was reading something. What do you think's going on there? There's always there's this weird wisdom Aes Sedai power struggle going on now.
Right.
And it's adding an extra tension to the Fellowship. I was curious to find out, what do you think about this relationship that's kind of blooming amongst the other one?
Nynaeve, she is dead set in her wisdom ways. From what I can gather, she was raised to reject everything Aes Sedai, and then in these chapters to find out that she too can wield the one power. Like she was like Harry Potter, when he made the glass disappear for the Python, just doing magic without knowing it, and she's like, well, no, it's just because of, I'm just such a great wisdom, and that's why they got healed. And then Miranda's like, no, think again.
That's funny that you. I was going to say, that's funny that you bring up Potter, because that's exactly what I brought up last week about certain things happening, and that's basically it for Nynaeve too. It's like, you're a wizard, Nynaeve, and she's like, I don't want to be. Yeah. It's not even that she doesn't want to be; it's that she kind of despises.
She absolutely rejects it.
Which goes into explaining a lot. We'll find out more about her later, because Moraine is dead set on bringing Nynaeve to the tower, and I don't think she wants to go. There was a little interaction just between her and Lan early on. You were here for the tracking part where Lan was a bit impressed about her. And then there was later on, they were in town all together, and Nynaeve was they all go back to the inn, and Nynaeve was there waiting, and Lan says something to Nynaeve to make her blush, and then kind of spooks her outside of the doorway later on. Like there's a few things kind of alluding to her liking him, or thinking he's attractive, which I find funny. Because there's so far the most of the romance is in between Rand and Egwene being betrothed, and then kind of dealing with now being on the run. Tom Marilyn has gotten more screen time. We gotten a little more of who he is.
Right.
They went to, yes, that's right. So they all left that one town that they were in, and they wind up in Shadar Logoth. What did you think of that? The city of the damned, basically. It was all crumbly and
I kind of don't remember.
It's real quick. It's literally like you're there and gone in a minute.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
they spend a night there.
Separates.
Right. It's right before they all break up.
Okay.
So they leave the one town they were in because the Murdral finds them. Nice Jake picture, by the way. And they run to Shadar Logoth. Oh, is it? It looks like
straight up.
Is it really?
Straight up. That is Stanley Kubrick from when he directed Full Metal Jacket.
No, that's Jake Hudson.
I swear to God, that's Stanley Kubrick, and that's the only reason why I saved that picture was because it looks exactly like Jake Hudson.
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
Good
Hey,
day.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Late than never, as they say.
What's going on,
but
Annie?
so
Not a whole lot. I'm glad to be here. I should have read the books. I missed the third chapter. I've had a lot going on the last couple days.
I know we were all very busy this week. So in Shadar Logoth, it's like this. They used to be Arid Hall. It was the former name, and you got
is that where they go for the treasure? They try to help the guy with the treasure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
All right.
and then there's Mashandar, the misty cloud of evil that will just consume you. And so they run away from there. So that was I thought that was pretty cool. You got a little more world building.
That was as soon as the guy come up, help me move this treasure. I'm like, okay, this is a bad guy. He has ill intentions.
And Matt, of course, was all about it. We're going to need Sax to carry this out of here. We're
right.
Rich. So yeah, the boys are together being boys in that scene. But yeah, Annie mentioned they split up from there. Or did Lou? I'm already confused. But as you know, and then they're down. they go down the river. Like some of the boys, two of the boys go down the river with Tom. Egwene and Perrin are across the river. They eventually run into the Tuathalan. And Elias, we met Elias, the Wolfman.
Yeah, I kind of had an eye roll when with Elias and now that Perrin, is like, oh well, you have the wolf power too, and I was like,
I'm glad somebody else is there with me. I was like, this is just kind of, it's cool, but it's lame.
Yeah, it was lazy. It was lazy. Now
is it lazy, or do we not know how that will play out throughout the rest of this book series?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, what if it was like the Force, that brought them together? The midichlorians in their blood brought them together. That's why Perrin went on this journey, so that it wasn't a coincidence that Elias met up with him. If it turns out to be something like that, okay, I'll buy into it. But I just don't. I'm not one for like with I digress here a little bit, but with like Star Wars, I hate that the Force can solve everything. Mm-hmm. So I don't like those little coincidences that help push a story along.
So that's where I'm going to get at you. It's built into the theme of the story, though. This is called the Wheel of Times. Time goes around in a circle here, so coincidence is going to happen. And there's a little more explanation, and I can't recall if they use this specific word or not. But the wheel weaves as the wheel wills. I know Moraine has said that at least twice in these early on chapters. The wheel weaves a pattern. The analogy is it's threads in the pattern. It's weaving these like this tapestry of reality,
like fate weaving her the tapestry of life. Yeah.
So right, yes, and we did get a little bit of mention of that too. I think early on, when they talked about King Aemon and the Tree of Life and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of lore that's so deep into this, but. There is that. I know you guys are frustrated, and I see your point wholeheartedly, Cupcake. I don't like just coincidence, but I think Robert Jordan is trying to give himself a lot of contingencies as he writes for the just coincidence thing. Like, time is cyclical, so it is definitely repeatable. This could have happened in another. I will get more info on that too, of multiple. The ages coming and going. This has happened all before. Yeah. Not exactly like this, but very similar. And they do make sure to let you know that this is a very different turning later on, because we got 3 books.
What are your thoughts on the hobos?
The Tuathalan, yes. The Tinkers, the traveling people.
What was your first impression of the travelers?
You, Cupcake, because you're we
discussed this. It's you. This is your time to shine, buddy.
Yeah, I gotta make sure he knows.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're nomads. I had, they are a peace, peace loving group of people. I have a feeling that maybe in future books that they are going to be used as bargaining chips because they're peaceful. We will kill these peaceful people if you don't do this. I can see that. And
that's fine. They're just leaves.
Yeah, right.
Yes, right.
But
the wind blows them.
No, the fact that Elias, like he is familiar with, like, so that just shows that Elias, he travels up and down these, so he's gave a little bit more trust in Elias. To be honest, I was weary of him, especially with the wolf power. But when the Tinkers, when they were like, "Oh, you're good," we've come across before.
I know I mentioned a few times that Perrin is my favorite character. Now that we've been going back over this, I can understand why you guys are like, ugh. It is a bit. He gets a rough introduction to the series, in my opinion. Yeah. Like, I didn't, I was into it right away though. Like I liked the wolf thing because I like wolves, So
Even if you don't like wolves, it's like, granted, again, it's because I know what happens with Perrin, but his power is kind of dope.
I'm not saying it's not dope. I'm just saying like it was too.
It's a used vehicle for sure.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't spoon fed to me. It was, you have the wolf power too, instead of Elias sitting around a campfire and who just said that? Who when it was a wolf talking, and then slowly Elias was like, "Hey, are you hearing the wolf?" Have it be that kind of reveal instead of
Elias was like, "Oh, you knew right away. You're a wizard."
He made eye
Harry.
contact, and he's like, "You're a wolf, Harry." Yeah, exactly.
right,
Exactly
right.
that.
Like, you're a wolf man.
Like he knew right then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. That was pretty
Take me out to
ham-fisted.
dinner first before you.
Especially with how much time he's going to spend with Elias over the next couple of days. It seems like it could have been more of a slow reveal instead of just being like, "You have this power," and he'd be like, "No."
Yeah.
I mean, he has the power. He sensed it in the dreams. So it is what it is with him. But again, like I told Spurg, these Chwachwans, they so much remind me of the Hobbit.
What did you think about their explanation of the Way of the Leaf, Cupcake? Like, I asked these guys that. Like, what do you think of the Way of the Leaf? Oh, you first. Go ahead.
For a peaceful group of nomads, it's perfect.
What about? So you would go join up and hang out and just
I said for a
travel
peaceful
around,
group of nomads, it's perfect. I'm not saying I would follow that, but it's I like the philosophy for a peaceful group of nomads. Like I'm in.
Before I move away from Perrin, he was like very much questioning. Well, what happens when somebody punches you? What happens if somebody tries to kill your family?
Right.
You could see that like Rain has been through it before. The seeker of that band of gypsies.
We run away, and then we ask, "Why did you hit me so hard?"
Yes, exactly. So like I'm with Perrin. I can't abide by that either. And Perrin's explanation was very correct to me, where he's like, if I let somebody hit me, that would encourage them to be able to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I have to put an end to that. Like I can't. So that was one of those things that did make me kind of, pardon the pun, but bite into the character a little more. I mentioned to these guys, the description in the book reminds me very much of a roommate that I had, like almost to the letter, like how Kubrick looks like Jake Hudson right there. It's very similar. It's like you could take one and then put the other. But then I also seen the show, and I like how they did Elias in the show too. But again, I think that the character needed more beard. That's all. Because if you're out in the woods, you look at all three of us sitting here,
right,
bearded up, and we're in the middle of the city. Men are lazy to shave. Trust me.
Trust me.
I hate it.
So let me ask you this, Cupcake. What were your thoughts on Rand while he was on the boat?
That's exactly where I was going, Lou. Because now I wanted to jump back to that. We're with Bale Doman, Tom Maryland, Matt, and Rand on the boat. They're chilling. Silliness starts to go on with Rand.
Yeah. The one thing that stood out was when Rand was on the
that upper mast, right?
The mast. Yeah. And then Tom's like, "Get down from there." And then
you want me to come on down, Tom? That would be good.
Yeah. Then he does all this acrobatics to get down. Granted, Tom was showing him, but the fact that he's nimble like that, and then he looks back up and goes, "What in the fuck did I just do?" There's something more to Rand, obviously, that we're learning from earlier chapters. But yeah, no, it was. I'm surprised they didn't have to work more on the boat. Like actually,
they did pay their passage, so you pay passage, you shouldn't have to work.
That's right. That's right. They did pay their passage. That's right.
Rand also complained about being trained so hard. He's like, dude, we're just kind of doing this for funsies, you know. We're just tricking them. Why are you working? You don't know, boy. Like, and I like that Tom keeps calling him boy or shepherd or sheep herder.
Right.
Matt tries to play the flute. He stunk at it. Also, we find out that Matt has a dagger that followed him from Shadar Logoth, and he justifies it by he took it. It wasn't given to him, so Moiraine's dumb rules don't apply to him. You know, so Matt, again, rule shirker, bad decision maker. But we also notice behavior changes in him. He's being, you know, very paranoid. Or, you know, he doesn't trust anybody. He's even starting to side-eye Rand a little bit. Tom, Rand, and Matt make their way into Whitebridge. Bale tries to convince the Gleeman to stay. You do be keeping my crew quelled while I run them like slaves, basically. You know, he's like slave driving these guys, but the Gleeman is keeping them distracted enough that they'll keep working hard. That one guy gets fired for sleeping on the job. And they all go into town. But they politely decline. They go into town. They try to make a plan. The innkeeper there is apprehensive of them. After he figures out that they're being looked for too, the boys and Tom try to leave. A Fade shows up. Tom distracts the Fade by sacrificing his own life, and Matt and Rand run out of the thing, and they're on their way to Camelin. Any other thoughts that you want to get out of the way before we move on?
No, but Tom fulfilled the wise old sage that he was the Gandalf. He sacrificed himself to, I thought, I was like, oh, and I'm going through that, God damn. And I thought it was significant that he made sure that the boys had the instruments. There's something about these instruments.
They're his best ones too.
I don't know if they're magic. I don't know if they're, if they're enchanted, but there's definitely something about these instruments that are special.
Oh yes. We do get more. Why is Tom there? Because we find out that Aes Sedai somehow is responsible for his nephew's death, and he feels like if he helps these boys out a little bit, he might be able to quell the guilt he has for not being there for his own nephew. Am I missing anything? I can't recall because it was a couple weeks ago now. But I think we got pretty close to
pretty much towards the end of that chapter. They ran into the Fade. Tom Maryland stayed back to fight while Rand and Matt bolted at the behest of Tom. So that was, I believe, that gets us caught up for the most part. I am not 100%.
I feel like I'm missing a little bit, but I don't think so too much because I think there was another Nynaeve, Lan, and Moiraine little bit in there where it's them
the lady
back and forth.
The lady narrator does. There's two of her speaking.
Right.
Yes, there was because that's where Moiraine explained to Nynaeve, I have a coin. I gave them coins. I could track them, and I believe Egwene never got one. It was only the fellas who got the coins. So she kind of knows where everyone is somewhat. That's why she was we're heading this way.
Right. And again, Nynaeve being Nynaeve, why don't we go for the one that's closer? Because the other ones are fading away and I need to track that, So at every turn, Nynaeve's being pushy to Moiraine.
That's in the chapters we just listened to. So,
no, it happens again in the chapters that we just listened to. It really, I'm not even kidding. That's because the one we're talking about is where Moiraine divulges to Nynaeve, I think, that she can actually channel. Was
she
last
breaks
week.
It down to her and all that.
Yes, where she's like, you have it too. I felt it in you. Why do you think? Oh yeah. That's right. Moiraine really presses her on the history of the wisdom and how she healed Egwene and knew right where Perrin was in the inn. Like, you can channel, bitch. You whether you like it or not, and she don't like it, you can channel. And Annie, it does. It happens again in this. That's why I was going to tell you to skip that altogether, because I can walk you through that of the
It was-
repetitiveness and reinforcement of how they hate each other.
Yeah, literally.
I think I Echo better hurry up. He should be here shortly. And I will catch him up too. He knows the books as well. So now we are at chapter 27. We are slightly beyond halfway. We're at 51% of the way through this book. I keep saying that. But now we're
But
back
this time
with
it's personal.
Perrin. Yes. We're back with Perrin, Elias, and Egwene, and they're still with the Tinkers, Tuathawan, the traveling people. Perrin is feeling anxious around the camp. I mean, like, they're traveling together. He's very detail oriented. Like, he notices, the kids playing with the dogs. Excuse me. There's music going all the time. He feels like this is who they are normally, but it feels almost a false front because they know that Perrin knows there's an underlying fear. And I think he has that mostly because he's being chased by Trollocs and Fades and Drakkar and all this other shit.
Right.
So he wants to leave, and he is pressing Elias a bit, like, come on, let's go. He's like, chill out, son. And, he talks to Rain. He's like, shouldn't we travel a little faster? Can we move a little quicker? Oh, why would you work the horses so hard? And so it's frustrating Perrin a little bit. And so he pushes Elias again. It's like, dude, we need to leave. We got bad shit chasing us. And I would feel extremely guilty if something bad were to come from me and you and Egwene, and then all these people are going to stay in here. They're not even going to fight. They're going to get murdered. And I don't want to deal with that. And Elias says, listen, I got a gut feeling that we need to just kind of chill out, stay, enjoy yourself a little, relax, bro, basically. Run when you have to, fight when you must, and rest when you can. Gives him a nice little bit of advice. And Perrin still worries about the Trollocs and all that, but he does kind of calm down a bit. Egwene is full-heartedly
dancing,
full-heartedly.
dancing.
She's a
Thank
dancing
you.
machine.
Yes, Lou.
Exactly.
There he is.
Hello, sir.
Welcome,
You didn't
Michael.
miss very much. I did a little catch up with Cupcake. I'm sure you heard because you were listening to this show instead of doing anything important with your real life. But thank you. Hello. Thank you. All right. Back to the normal layout. I was going to do that, but I'm so nervous that I will just like screw something up and the stream will die. Yes. Annie is the professional producer on this show.
For sure.
So real quick, chapter 27, Perrin's with the 12th one. He's worried. You're going to get murdered. Blah, 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 blah. And Egwene is dancing the night away. She is having a good old time. Aram is there, smoozing it up. And we get a nice little bit of more world building. There's song titles that get dropped. There's another kind of passive joke where Perrin asks for Tinkers Mend My Pots, and they all laugh and it's the feathers fall here,
Yeah.
So there's same songs but different words to go with the melodies and things like that, which I like music a lot, so that really, one of those little
World building.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that's kind of neat. This guy knows a little bit about something. And so, yes, dancing, and then the slow dance happens. You guys like that scene? Do, do, do.
Made me uncomfortable.
Look at Annie shaking her head already, like cliche, very embarrassing. Perrin turns red. There's girls dancing in front of him. It's a very sensual dance. One starts, then the second one starts. And he's literally turning around. He's trying to like divert his attention. He feels impure and unclean. We don't have this in the Two Rivers. I'm like, oh, Jesus. So real quick, we can break. That's the first question. You guys are chuckling. How did this run to you guys the first time through? Annie, then Cupcake, and Lou. And then Echo and I will finish up with thoughts.
I think it's a nice dip back into their like culture and what they're like. It's nice that they treat travelers and outsiders really well, but also kind of like tease them and play with them because they know that they don't necessarily know their ways and they're trying to be respectful and not hurt them or upset them. So they can do things and parent can't really necessarily react. Like he can't just shove these girls away because whatever. He doesn't want to hurt them or anything like that. So instead, he's just like, "Oh, can this be over now?" I like it.
Okay.
It's
sorry.
a little slow moving, but I really like the setting here.
I got something different out of that. I got sense of anxiety. Like, he was, obviously shy with the girls, but I get the he doesn't want to like he wants to get a move on. We're wasting time here. That's that's what I got from it. That's that anxious feeling.
Yeah, he's got the what he said earlier. We got to go. I don't want these people to get hurt because of me.
Right.
Vibe. If I push these girls away, well, I don't know if they think in this world, but it's like, what, you don't like women? He is the shyest person in this group. Like
100%.
he's shy, but to the point when it needs to be with certain elements. And by God, these 3 chapters were boring. We pick up the pace.
Yeah.
Golly, because this shit was a drag.
Yeah, very much inactive. Echo.
Hello. Yeah, so apart from my comment earlier when I said it made me feel uncomfortable because I was just feeling bad for him, it's very interesting. Spurg, I'll be a bit careful with this, but do you remember any other group that like to play games with dances that make the guy very uncomfortable?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Pointy game.
Which was very fun. And also, just in the defense of the Twaff one, the dirty little pikeys, what other choice do they have? They're going to either run away from you or they're going to make you love them and fall in love and feel so welcome that you're going to just, I've got to be nice to you. So they're the only options they got. So I'm not surprised.
Bribery.
They're very good at and whoring themselves out, kind of. Yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm not surprised they're good at making friends, right? Because that's the only option they got. Be friends or run away from them. Like, that's about it.
You called them pikeys, but as far as I know, I don't think the Tuathawan, the Tinkers, are as shady as that, whereas you bought it how you saw it.
Well,
and I think they're a little more...
Their reputation is like that, though. Yeah.
Yes, it is. They will steal your babies, your horse right out from underneath you, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're gypsies, no doubt.
Yes, we kind of did poke on that. And I don't know how familiar everybody else is with the term pikey. All I know about England is from Guy Ritchie movies. So that's exactly what oh, that's a flash bike, mister. That's my stereotypical view.
You like dogs?
Yeah.
I said dog.
Oh, you mean dogs.
Yeah.
Would you like a drink? Oh, I could murder one. There'll be no murder in here. Sorry, I can't. I'm not too bad. But more to the point, like, so they were all dancing, and then Perrin goes through his little embarrassing moment later on. Egwene is starting to learn the dance from the girls, and they're being girly girls. And Aram is about watching, and Grandma notices Aram watching, and she frowns because she sees that Aram really does like Egwene. I think is what we're trying to be told there. It's like, oh, she's worried that this little hussy's gonna steal away her grandbaby. Who we learned is a ladies' man, a F-boy, if you will. And Elias makes comment about Perrin's shyness. He's like, thanks, boy. Because they keep doing the dance night after night now, like you mentioned, Echo, to tease him constantly now, because it does embarrass him to some extent. And Elias is extremely happy because this is going right into his spank bank. He doesn't say that way, but he does say that he needs more than a fire to warm his bones, if you know what I mean. Kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Spurg, do you remember early on when poor old Tom Merrilin got a bit of a rough go from Annie for being a bit too friendly, I think, with one of the girls?
Yes. He wanted Egwene
You wait. He's a gentleman. You wait.
Yeah, yeah. There's some tavern ass slapping that goes on around these parts. So watch yourself. And Perrin gets Egwene alone. He doesn't get her alone, but he like finds himself alone with Egwene and is like, "Oh, you're having such a good time, aren't you, Egwene? I thought you wanted to be Aes Sedai." And she puts him in his place. "I thought you didn't even want me to be Aes Sedai, huh? You dick. Nobody has to work as hard as being miserable as you do right now. So just go and have some fun. Chill out, bro. We might not have fun all the time. Get it? It basically says what Elias says. Take it where you can get it, because you know what, life might be short. Our friends might be dead, and this might be the last positive thing we see for a while. So quit worrying about the future and be a little more in the moment." And Perrin comes to the realization, what you guys were just kind of saying, these people put a spell on you. They draw you in with their way of life. It's very tempting, and it does on the surface seem very appealing. Just eat, dance, chill, move around, don't hurt anybody, and ain't nobody gonna hurt. Yeah, exactly. Or Twitter. Jesus. They find out what the band's doing around the other parts of the country. Oh, these Tuatha lost their way. They're all fighting and bickering. So Perrin, in a counter to the Tuatha ways, throws on his big heavy cloak and is strutting around camp with his axe out on his hip. I see him like deliberately hey, look at what I got, guys. You know what? There's trying to remind people that there is like violence right around the corner, and you can't always just run from it.
They do.
So as we're moving through the camp, Perrin has normal dreams for the most part again. Like last time, he was dreaming, and there was always a wolf kind of just keeping an eye out for him while he was just going through his normal dreams. No spooky guys coming.
Except they have gotten a little bit worse. Before he was just having dreams, and now he's having like dreams of like Trollocs and like bad dreams, not like Balsamon nightmare type dreams, but he's not having good dreams anymore.
What's interesting? Do you know what's interesting with that though? Is ever since he's had those wolves in his dreams or around him, now he's dreaming about potentially things that maybe wolves would be interested in dreaming about, like in terms like hunting down a Trolloc.
Hunting.
What did they say? A few chapters back, they're kind of like, I tell you what, if they get a sniff of that Trolloc like within 50 leagues or whatever, they'd like do whatever they could to go find it.
They go rabid.
So maybe that's a little bit about it as well. Maybe that's a little hint. I don't know.
The wolf feels. You gotta love the wolf feels. Oh, go ahead, Cubby.
If they would have done it more like that, to where he started off with drink more subtly into him being this wolf, God, I can't even a warg to use Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
reference.
I'm drawing a blank on
didn't understand
term.
it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He didn't understand. He received some of these dreams, and he didn't understand his dreams with the wolves and all that. It's really Elias breaking it down to him that's giving him more knowledge of what's going on with them.
There was some things where he can like feel and knew about the wolves, but it wasn't explicit. I do tend to lean more towards what Cupcake is saying. It was just like, oh, you can do this now. It did kind of get sprung on him a bit.
Yeah.
But we did get a little.
And we have a little bit of sympathy for Robert Jordan here. We've literally started this by going, these 3 chapters, filler, boring, get on with
Yeah, I know.
And now we're going, why is there not more filler about this stuff?
I did defend Robert's style of writing, though, because it's very flowery, very wordy. He went through 3 chapters to get people from point A to point B in these next 3, and to the point. Well, let's get through this description so we can catch everybody up. Because we were talking about the dreams, the wolves are also growing impatient now. It's like, come on, dude, we gotta go, and like Annie was saying, the dreams were kind of scaling up. And finally, Balsamon does show up in a dream and murders a wolf, sets him on fire with a little one flick of his finger there, And Perrin's like, oh no, and he like tries to pick up the ashes. The ashes are all oily and greasy. He doesn't even, they feel so gross that he doesn't even want to wipe them on himself. And yep, it's time to leave. So that's what Perrin wakes up to. Beelzebub says, oh, you'll serve me, the eye of the world, blah, blah, more little hints of what's to come kind of thing. Just more terminology drop that you don't know what it means exactly until you get there. And so Elias wakes him up. It's time to go. As he was saying, I'll know when it's time to go. Now we know when it's time to go. Rain comes out of his
trailer.
I was going to say trailer, but it's not the word I'm looking for. Caravan. Thank you.
Yeah.
He
Caravan.
it came to me. It was a caravan. He comes out of his caravan, and notices he's like looking at the sky. He's looking at things that other people can't see. Basically is how it comes across. He's looking at something he can feel. And Rain agrees with Elias. Yep, we're going to go a different direction today. And Elias says, yep, it's time for us to go. And we're going to go our own way. And then a funny thing happens here because wagons east. So, they're all heading that way. And then Elias wants to go to Camelin, take these fools to Camelin. And they set off on the goodbye ritual, like Rain and Ela is his wife's name. And they want to have like the goodbye ceremony. I never send anybody out on their way without a full belly of food and blah, blah. But I suppose because of the nature of what's happening and how we feel, because we're going to make haste as well. We'll probably eat in the saddle kind of thing. So a round of hugs and kisses go by. Another round of hugs and kisses go by. A round of hugs and kisses for Egwene. And then everybody, decides to part their ways. And Elias does this ceremonial goodbye, which even kind of shocks the Tuathawan a little bit. They're like, whoa, and they repeat for time and something without end, for time and eternity without end. And Egwene kind of side eyes Elias because he's been very dismissive of the Tinkers. And he's like, well, I said they set a store by the ritual, and I'm not going to be rude. Elias is trying to say he's not being rude, but really there is a little bit of respect. I think that's what Egwene is seeing, is that you have to have some respect if you're going to even learn the ritual or even memorize these words, so I thought that was a nice touch. One last thing about this chapter. Perrin asks Egwene what her and Ela were talking about so much when they were alone. And Egwene responds with womanly advice, is what we were talking about. Perrin, advice? Nobody tells any man how to be a man. And Egwene her response is great because that's exactly why that's your problem, you doofus. And Elias laughs so hard because she did get him there. One of the few times we get a direct word joke
Bazinga.
From a character. Yes, she bazinged him real good. So real quick round table on what do you guys think about the chapter? Other than, yes, a lot of filler, but, do you feel Perrin's anxiety and apprehension the same way he does, or meh?
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole sense of this is to set up his internal apprehension, anxiety, and overall dread and worry about what's going on. Perrin seems capable, but he doesn't know his own potential or his own skill because he's never really had to exert or implement himself in anything other than making tools. So it's one of those things where time will come, and he doesn't want that time to come.
Excellent.
No, I feel there's still that anxiety in there. He doesn't know what's going on. He's been been pushed into this adventure. Now he can talk to dogs. He's got all these all these things coming down for him, and now I'm getting the hint that he may have feelings for Egwene, and even though that she's Rand's betrothed.
Who doesn't?
Huh?
I said, who doesn't?
Fair enough.
Same.
But yeah, no, he's being protective of her. Hey, this guy's like that. Like that so and so back in town. So it's
Will Halcyon.
yeah, yes. So he's no, I feel his I don't want to say his anxiety is building, but it's still there, and that's what's pushing him.
Lou, thoughts?
Not many thoughts. This chapter.
I know, but
literally-
I know, but I'm talking about the book. I know you don't have many thoughts in
the
general.
book is great.
Yeah, obviously,
Again,
obviously, no thoughts.
I'm loving the book because, like I said
Okay.
in previous shows, we're getting so much more exposition, and I'm being introduced to characters that I have yet to meet on this godforsaken show. But other than that,
Yes.
this chapter, it's a flow. It's a little annoying flow, but again, I get where Robert was going with it. He wants to establish and build. He doesn't want you to get to the meat and potatoes so quickly. He wants you to get build up towards it. Like this chapter leads that, and then when they come back, you get that build up we're kind of waiting for, but it's a little dull build up in the sense of the way it was done. Perrin is, like everyone's saying, he has anxiety without even knowing he has anxiety. He is dealing with shit because, again, these kids are not used to being away from home for more than 10 seconds. Going out to the woods to play is one thing, but being out in the woods and meeting a group of people that believe in the most insane logic of punch me all you want and I'll sit here and take it. He's like, no. But then
I ain't
again,
having that.
all the partying that they're doing kind of sucks you in because he sees it. It's like, I can see why these people fucking build a crew to their cult because it's eating, drinking, partying. God only knows they could be hunching. What all that sexy dance leads to something else. So,
Yep.
it's just, okay, Robert, get me to the next point where we got some fighting going on.
Action.
Yeah, give me the action. I'm an action guy.
Echo, as a fellow parent supporter, how did this chapter hit you?
Yeah, no, I thought it was decent. Not the one that I had in mind, which is, I believe, in 2 chapters' time. But I can't help but feel bad for Robert Jordan with this. So this was a filler chapter for sure, and all books have filler chapters. But also in this filler chapter, you're living with a cult where they're saying why it's maybe worth them, kind of like why people get sucked in by it, even though it's so ridiculous. They're kind of explaining why it's you get a little bit of comedy, but you also get, again, you get to know actually the wolves in his dreams aren't going to protect him as much as we assume. I remember last time we were kind of like, oh, cool, he's got the wolf, so he's fine, like, he's safe. And then all of a sudden, no, he's not safe. I did want to side tangent just a tiny bit. Did you find, Spurg, when he was talking about the wolves, Beelzebub in the dream, he's kind of like, I've seen this before. We kind of said earlier, we feel like he's kind of putting on a bit of a show. He's kind of a lower level big guy, kind of being Billy Big Bollocks. With that, I kind of got that vibe again. I was kind of like, I don't really
like
believe
double,
you as much.
triple, quadruple reinforces it because he hasn't been able to mess
Yeah.
with Perrin this entire time.
Yes.
And then he comes in and doesn't mess with Perrin. He like just, I'm cooking. Boom, I killed your wolf. I can still get you. Ooh, I'm here. It's like, okay, dude, cool. I guess. Yeah, you're here.
Yeah. I found that little bit quite interesting, Spurg.
See, I bought into it. I straight up bought into it. I'm just as bad as some of the rest of the main characters in the show. My first time through this book, I was so confused. I was like, well, what is going on here? I had no idea. I didn't get mid-level boss vibes like you guys are
I'm
saying.
getting lower
Like,
level boss vibe now. He's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
sad
same,
and
man.
pathetic.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean. Like, I was like, oh, this guy's got some power. Like either he's
He
like
can kill some rats. Real
Well,
scary.
Well, yeah, and then it happened in real life too. Like, so there was a connection there. Like, he was able to, like, it bothers me
He not only
that
killed a dream rat, he killed a real rat as well. So that's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah.
high level.
and now he set a wolf on fire and all the wolves knew about it.
That was sad. Yeah.
The very first book, we are in The Eye of the World, The Eye of the World, Book 1 by Robert
Yes.
Jordan.
Mm.
And if you guys want to get into it, the audiobooks are the way to go. If you find the paperback, it's usually cheap. There's also a younger version, young adult versions, where it's split into 2 books. There's the first half and then the second half.
I'll send you one, Lou. It's got nice pictures in it.
Only
It breaks up
Yes,
the long
no,
words for you.
there is a
Breaks up the
graphic
long
novel
words
that
for
was
you.
done.
Remember, Pineapple, I
Really?
had the show. I had 3 seasons of the show.
Yeah, that's his visual. That's the visual medium.
Yeah.
So yeah, speaking of filler, this is probably one of the bigger filler chapters, as short as it is. That's why I was going to mention to Annie to skip it, because you were running short on time. This
Can
one
we
I could have
skip it?
carried you through. Let's we'll push through as quick as we can. The point of view shifts. I'm not sure if the audiobook narrator shifts. Do we get
Yes,
Kate
yes.
reading again?
It was the,
Okay.
it was the woman
Thank you, guys.
who came on.
The
Yes,
woman.
Kate,
It was the
the
woman.
woman.
It was the woman. What do you want me to say? I don't know her name. We
Kate,
know the dude's
Kate.
name.
There you go.
The
I just
broad. That's the correct terminology. the
Oh,
broad
I forgot to
part.
pin the
Thank you.
super chat
Thank you.
or the super tip link
It's
too,
okay.
because we do have those voices. Supertip.gg/Echo. There are 2 voices there. One of them is the Aes Sedai, that would be the female narrator for the book series, and the other one, spoiler alert, is Ashaman, for the male narrator of the book. So
Hey.
No spoiler. They don't know what it means.
supertip.gg/Echo.
They don't know what it means. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
It's just
I
a
mean, you
name.
could.
Mm.
Yeah,
No, not unless
I
you
know.
give it away by saying it. Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. Let's get back to the boring chapter. Lan, Moraine, and Nynaeve are riding into White Bridge. They finally made it all the way down the Arenal River, and they're in town. Both Moraine and Nynaeve are set on getting some information. When they show up to White Bridge, though, we get another nice description of the bridge. It's basically made of lace. The first time when Rand and Matt saw it, we got like a bigger. It's this huge bridge across this huge river, and now it's as slick as glass. It's white and bright. It glows like the moon. And Nynaeve gives a little closer detail, like this shouldn't even be standing. This is going to collapse any moment. The structure does not even seem normal. It's lace-made glass kind of thing. But it's strong. It's stronger than steel. It's been
I would
there
assume
since
it's
the Age of
crystal.
Legend. Crystal? It's a fair assumption. Something hard, it's something that isn't going to wear away easy. Which is also neat. Oh, yes, there was Cupcake, I forgot to mention. Going down the Arenal River, there was that passing where they saw all the king statues
Yeah.
and how they're wearing down over the years. And then there was that metal spire out that Bail Doman used, that we use it as a marker. Like another, it came to my mind because it was another thing that just didn't rust or didn't seem to be worn
Touched.
away by, it's not being eroded by the world around it or time. It's like it's standing there forever. Oh yes, and so as they go into town, they notice that there's some buildings that were set on fire. It's kind of haphazard. The city patrol is out. There's a militia that formed. So something happened there. They don't know exactly what yet, but it's a little bit of chaos. As Nynaeve tries to get more info out of Moraine about what's going on and what they're doing, she keeps mentioning, we just got to get to Tarvalin. And Nynaeve gets frustrated. Tarvalin. Every time I ask you a question of where we're going or what we're doing, he said, pretty much Moraine is stonewalling her and giving her as little information as possible. And Nynaeve is trying to badger it out of her by annoying the shit out of her. And Moraine, cool, calm, and collected every single time. I find it to be hilarious.
Yeah.
So again, another comedy kind of thing, but not a straightforward joke. So they all ride in the saddle. They're silent. All 3 of them, because Nynaeve is a wisdom. She was known to listen to the wind and is feeling the same tension that Elias and Rain were mentioning in the last chapter, and is vindicated because both Lan and Moraine are like, oh yeah, we feel it too. Like, so much so that Moraine, when she puts her hand in the air, it's mentioned to us that it feels greasy to her or oily. Like like it's almost tangible. And Nynaeve is, yeah, I'll go through my notes. I got to catch back up because I'll show you that chicken scratch later. So Nynaeve knows that her listening to the wind has to do with the power, and we get a little line where she's like, again, reinforcing to us how much she rejects it. Like she wants nothing to do with Aes Sedai. She wants nothing to do with the one power. It's a gross, icky thing, and keep it away from me. But she knows that the things that she likes about herself, the things that make her good for the community, has to do with the one power. So, you know, there's a huge internal conflict going on with that. And Moraine does explain to her after some more pressing, because of that feeling, what you're feeling is the Dark One, his touch is actually starting to reach reality from wherever he's locked away in his Dark One prison.
Shale Ghoul, apparently.
The aftermath of the fate is ready apparent. They both, Moraine investigates, and as both Moraine and Nynaeve are investigating, the townspeople are giving different accounts of what's going on. It was Dark Friends. It was the Dark One himself. Nothing happened here. It went from the worst of the worst to no, it wasn't that bad. I mean, like, you know,
Right.
Some shit went down. It was a couple brigands. We took care of it. No big deal.
Typical.
Real quick, I gotta ask Echo something. Have you ever seen The League of Gentlemen? Echo, it was a show that was in your
Sean
country
Connery?
for a while.
Oh,
I was gonna say the
No,
Sean
no.
Connery
you meant
movie.
the movie.
No, it's
No.
a comedy show. It had Stephen Moffat and the other guy that did
Yes.
Sherlock
FX
later.
show?
Yeah.
Royston Vasse was the name of the town, and there was this shop with these two weird shop owners.
Yes.
And this is a local town for local folk. We'll have no trouble here. And basically that's what they're getting from all these town folk. This is a local town. We'll have no trouble here. You know, and they're all acting very sussy. It's a weird show. It's not, you guys thinking the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen with Sean Connery. Excellent movie.
Sure.
Also excellent serial novel.
Underrated
Gets
movie,
back
I would
to
say.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, very much so. With Captain Evil. Sorry. So they are in the inn where Tom, Rand, and Matt were at. Moraine has a little smile on her face. She makes mention that they were here. They ate a meal here. We're going to eat a meal here. Lan is having a cup of ale, and one of these militia dudes come up to give him a bit of, so where are you guys from? What are you doing? And Lan is just like, whatever, dickhead, you know, kind of go away, brushes him off and gives him a thing. And he's like, yes. And the militia guy goes, all right then. And just walks away kind of thing. Like, you know, like he was
like,
looking for trouble and Lan's present straight up, you know, all right, I'm not going to screw with this guy. This guy's presence is too much. Like, he's just this big dude. I really enjoy Lan's character
I
a
picked
lot.
the wrong guy to mess with. I'm gonna go fuck with this.
Yeah,
different guy.
100%.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'll just go see what's over there now. Because Lan insults the militia. He's like, militia. You know, because it's a ragtag bunch of townsfolk, and they're like the Two Rivers. They're very nervous and scared about what's coming, and you know, they know shit's getting bad. When we first got to Whitebridge, again, we saw it with the meager fruits and veggies, small piles of small fish. Like, things aren't going well, and if you're paying attention, you'll be able to hopefully, you know, get your bucket chili and build a bunker, and Y2K will pass you right over. Because basically what it is. So they sit down, and the trio plans their next move. Nynaeve is frustrated with Moraine again, and, you know, why don't we go for... Now she's doing the other thing. Moraine wants to go get Perrin, because Perrin's closer, and I know where he is. And we'll catch Rand and Matt and Tom up in Camelin, because they will be leaving here from Whitebridge, taking the Camelin Road. It's called the Camelin Road, and they're going to Camelin. Shut up, you dumb bitch. You know, like, Moraine is kind of... we get a scene where Moraine is finally getting frustrated. Like, she looks up with... intense eyes at Nynaeve and is like, listen, cunt.
Girl.
Because Nynaeve is like, you're worried about these boys, but what about Egwene? And that's what sets Moraine off, because like, listen, you can channel, Egwene can channel, you guys don't even know your potential. I do. You need to go to the tower no matter what I'm telling you. Like, I am just as concerned for her, because I'm not going to let that get away. You know, it's not explicitly stated, but it kind of comes off like Moraine wants those two because they can channel. Like that, like the tower needs them because they can channel. You know, if it's making Moraine, if it's making Moraine this frustrated, you know, there's a reason she needs more channelers. You know, like you have value.
She only had one A objective, to get the boys safely to the tower, and then suddenly she had a B objective that she realized, dang, this is also an A objective. Crap.
Ooh, side task.
Right, exactly.
They're both just as important. I have to make sure the boys don't fall into the Dark One hand, and I have to make sure the girls don't fall into the Dark One. Cool.
Wasn't it mentioned that if she uses the one power without proper training, she could die?
She could.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
And likely will. It's like a very high ratio.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what would be really you know what would be really funny, and just a spoiler alert, this isn't true, by the way, but wouldn't it be funny if it was the same kind of thing that you tell to like girls, if you like, I know, even if you like kiss a guy, you could get pregnant. I imagine if that's the same. 'Cause they're all like country bumpkins, so they could be like, oh no, if you channel once, you definitely got to go to the tower, otherwise you might die. It's like, really? No, you're fine. That isn't the case.
Good point. Very good point.
Well, and it is an excellent point, because that is a lot of this. You know, I've been through that roundabout many times. The word of mouth, how information travels here, and it is there are old wives' tales. A couple chapters ago, Egwene was like, "Oh, we better get away from the Tuatha. They're going to steal my horse." And the rest of our stuff, because she didn't even have other stuff to name, but they're going to take it anyway.
Yeah.
We ain't got it, but they're going to take it. You know, like, so there's definitely bigotry around. And that's, I always go back to Lou with the show. That was probably one of my more contentious things, is real world politics was trying to squash that a little bit, I think, to like not reinforce that behavior, because let's face it, people see idiocy on TV and then go out in the real world and act it out. I have a theory that Homer Simpsonism is a thing, where a lot of people watch The Simpsons and now we're all dumb like Homer, because we just naturally passively emulate Homer Simpson. Laugh it off, dude. The two of us are sitting here with bald heads showing.
Or Cano play Make Homer Go Something Something.
Right.
Go. What was it? Something crazy, and then he goes, "Don't mind if I do." Woohoo! And it just starts going. It's such a good.
You nearly set me up for it. Nearly set me up, but you couldn't remember it in order. God damn you!
I know. If I could remember, I would have. So yes, definitely, I agree with that. Echo, kissing does equal pregnancy, just like channeling could equal death. You don't know, but it is reinforced to Nynaeve that it was like 4 out of 5 die. You know, like it's sort of like, well, you better do what you got. So, and she has nothing to check it against. So they have that argument at the very end, and they head out, looking for Perrin. Now they're going to head in that direction, because Perrin took a different direction to the same destination, basically. And she can hone that in, because again, Perrin still has his coin. And the other two boys got rid of theirs. Bale kept them, but did give a bunch of money back. And Rand did remark that he didn't get that coin back. Like, he kind of wish he did. Like, it was almost like he had it in his possession. He's like, oh, I want that back. You know, like there was some type of magical tie even. Right. Probably that too, instinctual. So those three take off, and now we're back to, so yes, again, I'll round table it, but that was a break chapter, because I think Robert Jordan didn't want to have, we're leaving the Tuatha. We left the Tuatha. So we're leaving the Tuatha. This thing happened. Now we're out of camp. So any thoughts and prayers and anything for that chapter? Any annoyances did you guys catch, or fun dialogue or anything? It was a real quick 20-minute chapter. Annie, then Cupcake and Lou.
Uh,
Likewise.
I don't really have much to say about it. I listened to it like moments before I hopped onto the show at like fast speed. So, as you mentioned, it is very quick. It's just a liminal space for the book. It's exactly what you mentioned. It's so they can have something in between leaving and have left. I really do like that they go back to Whitebridge and get a little bit more description of the bridge, because the fantasy architecture is really cool because you can do anything. It's a book. You can do anything you want, and it's like, well, that makes sense because it's magic. Who cares? It works. So I really like being able to hear those fantastical descriptions of like the mountain that's been carved out into a bowl and it just has an instant death field around it. You know, it's cool shit like that. It's like, oh, okay, well, there's just weird magical places, and sometimes we get to see them and hear them in really great detail. So that's what I liked about the chapter. Other than Lan being like militia people, man, he doesn't like anyone that's not his class.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Alana's one of my favorite characters. He's such a good character in my opinion. Cupcake, sorry to interrupt, but any thoughts on this short chapter?
No, just reinforced the that Nynaeve has the one power, and it gives a little bit more information on that. And then of course it was fun to see to see Lan militia. Like, get out of here.
Yep.
When you're on my level, then talk to me.
And the guy realizing it shortly thereafter too. He's like, "Yep, I'll be on my way." Like just straight up, like,
Dude,
thoughtless Lou.
again, Naive is naive. Like, he gave her the best name. She is a naive individual. Like, yeah, you're named Naive, but you also are naive because you always think you're right. And no, understand, I can't feel them no more. I don't know if they went east. That's what we're hoping. But I could sense them when I'm about a half mile next to them. They could be 20 miles away or 40 miles away. Like, she's breaking it down. But Naive was like, I just want my Egwene. My Egwene is my sister. Like, over it. Like, oh, God.
Then why doesn't she go out on her own? Sorry.
Good point.
You know what? Why doesn't Naive go out on her own? Because she knows she's too naive to withstand things on her own. Pineapple.
Just to confirm for people listening to this, who most of us are aware as Nynaeve. It's close to Naive, but she isn't literally called Naive. Just to clarify, so it's fine if that's your little nickname for her, but it isn't a little play on words for her. Her name is Nynaeve. That's just very similar to Naive. I found it quite interesting. The self-realization that Nynaeve was getting early on around her big sis, Moraine, where she's kind of going, oh, I don't like this look on me. I don't like being the little pup learning from the big dog. I don't like the fact that when I tried to harass her for stuff, she's not biting, she's not baiting, she's not kind of falling for it. And then I start scowling and I have to catch myself and be like, oh God, like, come on, like I'm not supposed to be petulant. I'm supposed to be like a leader, but here I am kind of like sulking because I'm not managing to manipulate someone into giving me what I want. So I thought that was pretty cool. Obviously, our good friend Lan, as we all said, we all enjoyed that bit a little bit. But I think it's interesting because they kind of went, this, you know how they rotate who's leader every so often? It's like, right, Moraine, you be leader here. Right, Lan, you be leader here. And even in this one, they have a little split where they're outside and they're like, right, fuck off, Lan. Yeah. Moraine, go up to him and be like, oh, yeah, like, oh, what happened? Which was bonkers, by the way. I can't believe none of you have mentioned how bonkers it is that everyone's like, I think someone knocked over a vase and it started a fire. And people were like, no. There was like a million dark friends and they were like, in the city life.
No, because I don't know what you're talking about.
No. And Annie, I'll let you off. But I found it insane. And I was like, I wonder if they're all deliberately lying, and because they're realizing if we say there was a fade in the city, in the town, and it was trying to kill people, they're going to go, oh, so you're dark friends here, are you? So I think you said earlier how they're scared of getting tired with that rush. I figured that's the only reason I can think of why they would all kind of be like, it was a rabbit. A rabbit ran through and set fire to the tavern. It's like, really? It's like, I don't know. Something happened.
Yes,
I didn't think
you're
about
right.
it like
I did
that.
skip
No,
over that.
that makes sense.
Not only that, there was a point that it wasn't like a continuous fire, like a neighborhood burnt down. It was a few houses every so often that was burnt. And here's the thing, I glossed over it too, and I'm just now kind of realizing it. Earlier in the book, we heard that the dragon fang will be scrawled on your door, and the dragon fang will mark you as a dark friend.
Mhm.
So really what we're looking at is the aftermath of a riot, possibly, where people were, so there was a fade. Like you mentioned, they know that there was a Murdral there, and some people got accused of being dark friends, and they literally went and burned them out of their house, so there was a lot more trauma. Right, there was a lot
got in there. Yeah.
Yes, in broad daylight too. That happened in the middle of the town square during the day. There was like a lot of hidden, not necessarily explained what went down in Whitebridge when Moraine showed up to see all of this, what had happened.
How can you not love this book? So even I've read this book like 4 times, and we've gone into detail on this one, and I still missed it.
Yes.
Has anyone reread the series? It seems like you get so many hints, but such a commitment. Yes, it's what we're doing now, Connor, to be honest. And me and Spurg are rereading. The others are reading it for the first time. But yeah, it's hard to only read 3 chapters a week, right?
Very much. Because especially because me and you know what we're anticipating things. It's like, we want to get to this. We know what's coming. We want to get to that point, because there are things I want to bring up to you guys, or that I want to talk about. And we get a little bit more trickle in the next chapter coming up. But like Echo mentioned, another dance or game to play with a certain group of people. And believe you me, buddy, I would be trying to I would be big up in my reputation for that game quite a bit. Like, no scars on me, that kind of thing. So,
I know what you speak of.
Lou has an idea.
I saw the show.
Yeah.
Where am I? Okay, so everybody is kind of yes, we are. But like. Oh, that's what it was. I wanted to explain, so Annie and Cupcake are going through the book series completely blind, and Lou knows a bit of the show, and me and Echo are on multiple rereads. And we brought up a lot that there's more foreshadowing than anybody could ever catch. And Echo just mentioned, and myself, many a detail that just kind of escapes, that you go, oh, well, maybe, and I might even be attributing things because of bias now. But like, oh, damn, that was pretty good foreshadowing. That little thing that happened is a little more, because I mentioned a conversation between Moraine and Tom that meant a little different to me, because I know how they are. Because of I know their history now. I know how Moraine operates. I know how there's a thing that they do that is just kind of part of their culture. And one's a Gleeman and one's an Aes Sedai. How are they sharing culture? You'll find out. So yes, that was a little bit of a quick filler chapter, and this is the one that you didn't quite make it through, Annie. It's chapter 29, Eyes Without Pity.
Yep, I didn't get to listen to this one because I fucked up.
I do encourage you to go back and listen. You're going to get a bit of a spoiler thing here, and you can on 1.5, 2 speed if you have something that can play it a little. If not, just enjoy it. But there's a lot of
too much. I was mentioning that's just too fast for this book, because there's a lot of detail, and there is a lot of those things that you really do want to catch. So 1.5 is too fast. I do like 1.
Read it on 0.5.
Okay.
Do it on 0.5 as punishment, Annie, for not doing your homework.
Now you just turned a 35-minute chapter into a 70-minute chapter. Oh boy.
You got it, boss.
Oh, and towards the end of this, Echo, I am going to talk about extra long chapters here, because I'm where I'm at farther in this reread. I'm just going to stop so that way I can focus more on this.
Sure.
So, chapter 29, Eyes Without Pity. The Elias, Egwene, and Perrin have left the Tuathalan. They are on their way out. Elias is very careful about traveling. He still has that, not feeling so good feeling in his stomach. Perrin agrees with it. Egwene is right behind them, being as apprehensive as, she can be. But it drives them. That's what's pushing them along. They're keeping a quick pace. They're moving through a wooded area. There's it's rolling hills. Like there's a lot of ridges. Hard to explain if you live in a Midwesty flatlandy area like I do. I got to head east a little bit before I start seeing that. But it's a pain in the ass. It's going up these hills is a pain in the ass, even if they're, and I'm talking like 500-foot hills. So, is what I'm imagining. Perrin is still wary about the wolves, but he's thankful that they're around. He kind of can sense them a little bit. They're starting to fade away. But he is definitely thankful for their help. Like at least they're warning us about things. And then I made the note of up, down, back, and forth. So they're up over a ridge, down the other side, back snaking through this way, back snaking through left ways. And Elias is upset because he's, going twice as wide as he is forward. So, they're not covering much forward ground as much as they are side to side. They top this next ridge, and Elias is peeking over, and Perrin comes up next to him this time. And Elias says, stay down. And so they're staying there. They're just watching. And what happens? A big poof of ravens comes flying out of a thicket of trees. And it literally moves in a group to another thicket of trees.
That can't be a good sign.
It is definitely not a good sign. Those are the eyes of the Dark One, like we saw in town early on. And Elias makes the comment of, it's not that many. It's like, 200 only. And Perrin's like, not that many. That we don't see that many back in the two, again, alluding to the two rivers and what home is like versus what he's seeing. And again, like big young old vibe said it earlier. These guys spend a lot of time confused. It's all brand new to them. They put a goldfish in the lake and see how he does. You know what I mean? Like, oh, what the hell's going on? Room? There's space here. And so Perrin's like, that's a lot of fucking ravens. And Elias is like, I've seen bigger ones up in the Blight, thousands at a time. And there's a bounty on them. Like you can literally it's like collecting cans in my opinion. I can just get a bow and arrow and go out and hunt ravens all day and make ends meet. You know what I mean? And again though, like, so the wolves, Perrin was just kind of lulling into having the wolves there. And he's like, well, why didn't they warn us about the ravens? Elias makes an excellent point. Wolves don't spend time looking up in trees much, do they?
True.
Excuse me. So now they're worried, not because they know that they're being watched by these flocks of murder ravens. But Elias knows of a place. And so they start pushing on towards somewhere where Elias knows that may be safe, may not be safe. We don't know yet. They're moving quickly. The tension is building while they're hiding. Like every thicket of trees is just that next more tense. They see the ravens. They're getting more tired. Right here, I feel like Robert Jordan, again, like with the 1.5 speed, or you miss a lot of detail. There is a lot of very good description going on in this chapter. I like the flowery writing. It is very much just kind of fillery, but it's enjoyable. I know I've listened to worse things than this, although it does feel a little sloggy because it's repetitive right now. But I think that's by design, because it's like, fuck, man, I'm getting tired of listening to this as much as they're getting tired of running away from these damn birds. So a little bit of salt and pepper right on it. They're watching out over a thicket of trees down to the next thicket. And a fox comes running out of the woods into a clearing, and all these fucking ravens just go right onto the thing and literally rip it apart in the matter of minutes. Can
I ask a question?
Sure. Yes, please. Interrupt as much as you
So,
want.
sorry. Oh, not as much as I want.
No.
Unfortunately, never get the show finished. With regards to ravens, does anyone actually know? Did they actually do that? I know no spoilers for later, but do they actually do that to animals, or is that just
They're more
created here?
carrions, so they eat like dead
Right.
stuff. They don't really go
Yeah.
out and hunt
Okay.
alive
So,
stuff.
so
They might like pick
Okay.
a worm or a little bug here or there, something they can grab opportunistically, but they do not
Yeah.
hunt in swarms. No,
Cool.
that's not
okay,
Raven
so,
stuff.
so it's kind of like the wolves then in here, yeah, where it's kind of like, yeah, like you look at them, you're like, yeah, we've got wolves, you've got wolves, and it's like, yeah, but our wolves talk to like blacksmiths, and it's like, okay, all right, you are slightly different. It's like, okay, ravens, do you
Yes.
fly around in murders? Yeah, we fly around murders, and you go and attack like live animals? Like, no, not really. It's like, okay, cool, all right, slightly
Yeah, but
different.
you gotta
Right.
understand,
Right,
Pineapple, they're possessed by the Dark One.
Not
So
possessed.
that's why they're
they
doing
work for the Dark One.
work,
get
possess,
paid.
however you want
They
to
get
put
paid
it.
in shine. They get paid in shiny
That's
little
fucked
objects.
up. Then
Right,
I can't
right.
trust them. Kill all birds.
The Dark One lets
That's
them
why they're
collect the
doing what
shiny
they
object
do.
from their nest every week. Yeah.
I've been racking
tell
my
you
brain
what.
on the best way to like if they have bounties on like these birds out in the wherever. Two great strategies. One always works: net gun. Just shoot net guns and just try to catch like 20 or 40 of them at once, or just hire an Aes Sedai for 20 minutes and just be like, "Can you shoot 2 bolts of chain lightning?" And just go, phew. All right, that was 80
Annie.
dead. That was 160 dead. All right, cool. Here's your coins. All right, now I'm going to go collect all my corpses and go get my coins.
Exactly.
And you know what's so funny? I was just sitting here in my head, kind of being like, if I was an Aes Sedai, I'd go to the Borderlands and I'd just like every morning wake up half an hour just throwing like fireballs in certain like a bunch of ravens, being like, yeah, 20, 30. All right, cool, nice. Yeah, sorry. Go on,
Yeah,
Spurs,
exactly.
sorry, we derailed you for a little bit of nonsense.
Oh
there.
no, that's
Thank you.
absolutely fine. Because yeah, that's like I was just mentioning, like collecting cans or whatever versus shooting down ravens is much more fun. So any means necessary. I don't know if I want to live in the Borderlands though. It seems a little cold and busy.
Yeah. No shadows though, so that'll be all right.
Right. Yes, that's true. Especially at nighttime. That's so much good
Exactly.
world building.
Mm-hmm.
So after they see the fox murdered, they start moving opposite of the raven flocks. Like, okay, they're waiting, the ravens move, then they move. Then they're waiting, and then the birds move, and then they go to they're literally like wait, sprint. And they're getting extremely exhausted. Specifically, Perrin and Egwene it's setting in for them, so much so that I might be jumping ahead a little bit.
That's fine.
Egwene is like, "Oh, it's your turn to ride," and Perrin's like, "No, I'm still good yet." And Egwene's like, "All right." Like she finally relents to not get out of the saddle, where she was being very adamant that everybody take their turns.
Yeah.
Now she's like, I'll just take a nap if you don't mind. Just keep on walking, Perrin. You're good. Be a man. And so Elias notices that they're starting to get tired and reminds them of the fox, and that does perk them up just a slight little bit. They're like, "Oh shit, yeah, we don't want to get killed. Let's get some adrenaline going." And this is one of the times that Perrin does internalize, where he's worried. Could he pull the trigger and spare Elaine's life versus her getting her eyes pecked out by 47 different crows or ravens rather? There's a lot of this chapter is him internalizing a lot of what's going on with him, not necessarily the wolf things. Like it is briefly mentioned, he is kind of getting a little comfortable with it, but he is more than happy to keep it away from him. Worried about like you guys mentioned earlier. I think was that Lou or Cupcake that Perrin was that you, Echo, that Perrin might be having some feelings towards Egwene, like a little more than just friends.
That was not me.
Cupcake. Okay,
that was not me.
I couldn't. I'm. You see down below. Well, you can't see. It's kind of tiny. I'm a woolhead. This morning.
We overlooked the fact that Egwene killed the raven with her slingshot.
With the sling, yeah.
Oh, good catch. Yes, I did totally overlook that.
Perrin was struggling to get the rock out, and she took care of it for him.
Yeah, she.
Nice.
Lou, you missed a brilliant moment there. You should have gone after us all been like, good work, Lou. You should have then went, yeah, and that wasn't in the show either. That one there, like, hey.
Yeah, right. Let us know. That was in the books, not the show.
None of this shit's in the show.
Yeah, me and Lou had Yeah.
Before we even started, me and
Got him.
Spurg were going over some stuff, and it's like, yeah, all this was not in the show, but it's cool here.
And I go on about music a bit too, but it's delivering in the medium. You know, you write for the medium. You can write a script. You can write a script for a show or a movie. You can write a poem. You can write books. You can write an epic like this. With the book, you get much more room in the medium. With the show, it's brief. With a movie, little less brevity. Actually, I would argue even more brevity because you got to sum it up in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you're planning a trilogy or whatever. Same thing with music. I like the evolution of it used to be just music on the radio, and then people would make an album, like a record. You know, you got how many ever minutes on either side of a album, and then it was amazing to get a double press, and then the CDs and tapes came around, and now you got 80 minutes of music you can put on a disc, and now it's MP3s. And I noticed a trend of people just dropping a song at a time. Like you go on Bandcamp or wherever, and it's like, this is my new single, boom, and they drop a single. Nobody really puts out a record anymore, unless you're Taylor Swift. Nobody puts out a full album. It's not as traditional. It's more traditional to put out a full album instead of just releasing a few good songs at a time. Because we stream it now. Why put out an album? Just let it go. Here's a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you know, it's kind of. I think it's neat.
To answer your question, it's because they're making pennies on the dollar when they put out an album compared to the old days with all this streaming technology.
That's true. Now they're making pennies on each song.
They're not making no money. It's not worth it to put out music for some of these artists. Like Taylor's going to make what she makes, and she's Taylor Swift.
I would argue she's probably last of that pop industry too. There's not much. Sabrina Carpenter's behind her now. Like that's like the new pop. Now we're getting way off track. But like, you know, like, but more back to the point though, like there's a lot of paragraphs of just how they're running through the woods, and you get a good description of it because there's room to breathe there. It's fillery, but it's also enjoyable. Because this is a leisure read. It's not like we are reading for the podcast, but it's not like we're reading to study for a test. And I gotta know this, you know, it's not a math equation you gotta understand. It's something you can just kind of chill on. And it's like, yeah, I guess running through the woods is a little boring, but I'm not running as hard as these two are. That's for sure.
Sometimes it's just fun to write too. And, you know, sometimes you just write it and you're like, well, that was good enough. I'm just going to keep it in there. And as long as your editor, who you pay and, you know, to make that decision, doesn't say, no, this needs to get cut out, then keep it in there.
And go ahead, Echo, you first.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think what he also does very well, Robert Jordan, maybe unknowingly to us, is make us kind of go, God, this is like really kind of exhausting. This is like relentless. This is every step they go, there's something that's, and you're like, yeah. Like, even when they're sleeping, there's this, and you're like, yeah, that's the point. These guys ain't getting a second's break. And even though you kind of like, even with the filler, there's stuff like that's kind of knocking you down. So yeah, I can't help but think that it's intentional, you know, but again, we're probably just giving credit wherever, you know.
Like you said, yeah, we're definitely fans of the book. So, but I agree. No, it's, because I didn't grow up reading books like a lot of other people did, or even historically speaking, where it was only books. That was your consumption. So, RJ making you actually feel what they're supposed to be feeling by giving you a sloggy chapter to get through. You know what I mean? Like, I'm exhausted from reading this. They're exhausted from running, stupid. You know what I mean? Like, you're feeling exhausted in maybe a different way, but you can parallel it to them being physically exhausted by you being mentally exhausted. It's not that different. They do go hand in hand.
It does.
I was going to go on another tangent.
It's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive, Spug, don't you think? Because I'll be honest, from books that I've read before, I'll kind of be like, maybe I've been somewhat scared or excited or sad or happy. But I didn't realize that, yeah, why can't they make you feel other emotions as well? So that's
frustration and
pretty
anger,
tricky. Yeah, that's tricky to be able to do, because most people go, well, I'm exhausted, so I'm going to stop reading. And I think that's what gets some people with this book. Maybe they're not. Yeah.
I'm with you. I was going to pick on Young Old Vibes for that. I can't stand Rand. I don't think you're supposed to be able to stand him. He is insufferable a lot of the time.
Yep.
He really is.
He's a dumbass. Yeah, absolutely.
Whoa,
and yeah, I know. But like with
How
Naive,
rude.
she's presented to us as a very see you next Tuesday, I know it all, insufferable. You don't want to be
Again.
around this person, but
She's just
necessary but necessary to her village. I know I deliberately said it that way too this time. But she's necessary to her village. She holds power, so it feeds into it. It's like there's a lot of elements there that you just like. She's got an ego and she's full of herself, and we hate her, and for good reason, because we've all worked for somebody who's like that,
Right.
at some point.
Good point.
Unless you're self-employed. If you're lucky enough to be self-employed, good on you, because that is the way to go. Unless you're me, because I'm my own worst boss. I'm not a slave driver, and I should be
Have the
whipping
week
my own
off,
back,
sir.
right? Yeah, exactly that. Oh, thanks, boss. You know what I mean? Like,
I've never worked for a boss like that. You're that boss.
that could be too. I am a bit of a prick if it comes to that. You see it on my face. I look angry all the time. Anyway. Right. So they're exhausted, and Elias motivates them by the fox. And here's another comedy line that was funny to me. I thought you rural farmer people are supposed to be hardy and strong, work all day, dance all night, sleep all day, and sleep all night, more of the like. And I thought that was hilarious, because he's just like giving them shit for like, they don't do this. Even he's getting a little tired, and he's the motherfucker who's running all the time.
Right.
But I just a good comedy beat, like to just kind of mock them, and again the reverse stereotypical thing, where farmers have the reputation for being, hardy, strong people, and he's giving them gruff because how are you so tired already? And I'm not, even though I kind of am.
Because we don't walk all day and run all day. You hang out with a pack of wolves, and it's like I feel he could channel his exhaustion through the wolves for
Right,
some
have
reason.
that wolf endurance power and just be like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
'cause,
run
like-
12 miles real quick.
Loping along like that, yeah. So as they're running on, Perrin notices that the ravens are starting to kind of catch up to them. They're about an hour behind. The day's starting to get long. Evening might be showing up soon. And again, Perrin internalizes, am I going to have to end Egwene? I brought it up earlier, but this is where I think he actually is like, you got to do what you got to do, boss, and not very excited about it. But as they're running ahead, there's a sudden change. All three of them feel like just the air change. The whole vibe of everything around them changes. And Perrin's confused by it. Elias is excited by it finally. He's like, ah. And Egwene is extremely uneasy. She no likey. I don't like this place. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. Where are we? And Elias shouts to them, safety. We're safe. Finally safe. Perrin, again, with his detailed perspective, notices that grass is growing here. Like there's sprouts in the ground, and that it looks like, yes, sir.
Sorry to interrupt, but can we just point out how impossible women are to please? She was moments away from getting killed, and she's like, oh, I don't like this place either. It's like, oh my God, just choose what you want for dinner. Sorry. Maybe a separate argument came out there, but yes.
I love the line that you just threw in there too. Oh, go ahead, Lou. You first.
It's explained why Egwene don't like.
Oh, yes.
Elias does explain it.
Yes.
I know. There. I'm just ball busting, Lou. I'll be honest.
I got it. It was great. It's the truth. Like, oh, damn.
Do you know who Weird Al Yankovic is, Echo?
Yeah.
Off the top of your head?
Obviously.
Familiar with that guy?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with R. Kelly? Have you? Yes. That album is.
He sends me
well,
lots of documents.
R. Kelly did that 11-minute video about Trapped in the Closet. Trapped in the Closet.
Yeah.
11 minutes,
Weird
dude.
Al. Yes.
A lot longer
Oh
than
yeah, it was
that.
well. Oh no, let me rephrase that. Weird Al does an 11-minute parody song of "Trapped in the Closet," except it's called "Trapped in the Drive-Thru," and it's an entire song. It's an entire song about a couple who cannot fucking decide what to have for dinner. And it's very much to your point what you just said, because like you just pick. How many times have any one of us been in a car with a significant other and had the lunch conversation? Because there's 11 different drive-thrus around. What do you want for lunch? Are you hungry? I could eat. You want McDonald's? Do you want Mr. Hero? Pick fucking something.
Right.
You know,
I
get it.
Without taking it on
Wayne, I get
without taking it on a tangent. Quite a good little TikTok thing I saw to do is when you're in the car ready to go somewhere, be like, guess where I'm taking you for dinner? And then they go, Taco Bell, and you go, yep. And they go,
Esther. Oh my gosh. How did
Noted.
you guess? Were you reading my
Noted.
mind?
Yes, that is going straight into the old bank. I need that one.
That is a great strategy.
That is very
Mind
Aes
games.
Sedaish of you. Yes, I love it. Yeah, that's
Yes,
exactly how you do that.
technically didn't lie, but also technically telling the truth, right? So yeah, I said
Right. It's slightly deceptive, but not exactly. So yes, Elias explains to Egwene what's going on here and why. Elias says that the crows will not come here. No shadow spawn will come here. This is a steading, and it's the Ogier that make the steading, not the steading that make the Ogier. And Perrin is like, well, that's just a legend. Again, you know, this is all stories to them. They've never seen or heard anything, so they're very happy about finding out that they're in protected land from these ravens that were chasing them. But Elias also makes the point to say that it won't keep out dark friends or humans that are, you know, bad people can still come into the steading and hurt you. So we do kind of have to keep pushing further into the steading.
Yeah, because he says the Ravens, you know, can still be watching, and they might have set up a whole line across the border.
Well, Lou,
Yes.
I love that little bit because he's kind of like, "Come on, guys, let's go," and they're like, and he's like, "We're still not safe just because we're physically safe for now. Doesn't mean we're just like, right, sit back, relax. They're gonna go home now." It's like, no.
No, Perrin was ready. He's like, Perrin is so
Perrin's like, go
dead, and he's like, oh, finally. No, we got to keep pushing about another 2-3 miles. You know, these Ravens are going to set up camp and watch this borderline, and God knows they might see us. You know,
exactly that too. Elias says we're not just quite safe yet. We're a little too close to the edge. We're not, you know. Let's get inside here and be. And it mentions a mile or two further into the steading. We're almost there, boss. I promise. You know, like Perrin is. Are we there yet? And Elias is like just a little bit further. Real quick, this should be a night show, rebranded to Tuck Me In. Everybody's wearing pajamas. I would love to do a show at nighttime, but unfortunately, nighttime is well into the nighttime for Mr. Pineapple. And this is our little show over here with that one. So, going to be a lunchtime thing. Although I have a playlist on my channel, and they are in order. You can start back at number 1, and it should tick through 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to number 10, which is this episode right here. It did disappear on its own. Excellent. So the further push in leads them to a nice pool of cold water. Perrin immediately dips his face in, shaggy curl all over the place. You know, like a much like a dog or a wolf, shakes off his water and gets it on Egwene.
I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that.
What?
Oh my
How
god!
did you not get that? Literally, Spurg. I pictured not the TV show Perrin. Unfortunately, I pictured the real Perrin, and he was just like his hair and his beard, and I was like, oh, so good, such good.
Reason being, I didn't correlate the fact that his wolf senses kicked in there. just listening.
Real quick, just to catch Cupcake up on a little anecdote, because we got time today. We're coming in on under 2 hours because this is a big filler, a bunch of stuff. Not a lot happened. We didn't have much to talk about, just descriptive things. My old roommate back in the day looks almost like that. The Jake Hudson, Stanley Kubrick thing that you had going on there is my old roommate. The description of Perrin, these big, long, shaggy curls. my old roommate was Mexican and Italian. So he had slightly olive skin, but his hair was like straight until about temple length, and then it just curled straight down. Like just long, shaggy curls. So, and again, here, Robert Jordan makes that description of Perrin's shaggier curls just being wet and then him shaking off like, and it was very much like that. So I have like a very pointed mental image of Perrin. Rand is still kind of more along like what is behind Echo, just a tall guy with like shorter, maybe even a part red hair. And Matt kind of looks like me a little bit in a way, where he's just got like round eyes, a little round face, a puggy kind of nose, trickster guy. It's just that I think that the character descriptions in the book are pretty detailed and in depth, and I enjoy it. And I just wanted to catch you up on why I think Perrin looks the way he does in my mind. He looks exactly like this guy I grew up with.
Spurg, you know what's funny? Perrin looks as gay as this will sound. If I could decide what I would look like, it would be how I picture Perrin to look like. Tall, but not stupidly tall. Broad, yep, and cool hair, yep. I'd be down.
Yeah, cool. I miss cool. I gotta find a picture of me when I had long hair and show you guys. I used to have my hair. It was
you
like
had
Danny's
hair?
more or less though.
What?
Like
You had hair?
nice and straight. I did at one point in my life, man. It was amazing. I lost it all. I woke up one day and I was just egg shaped.
Oh, the good old days when the hair was nice and the receding hairline didn't take place.
Yes, I know. Sponsored by Hims. I'm sorry.
Right.
So the Perrin and Egwene are kind of goofing in the water a little bit. But, you know, Perrin shakes off his thing, splashes Egwene, and Egwene's like, ha ha ha. And then Perrin gets a stone cold sober look on his face because he realizes like they were just inches away from death 15 minutes ago. Here we are, you know, finally, a little bit of respite and it shows that Perrin isn't quick to let his guard down. And if he catches himself letting his guard down, he's quick to put it back up. Because he immediately starts thinking about, you know, we would all be dead. If we didn't, again, like you were mentioning, Cupcake, you know, things just happening by coincidence. Perrin's making mention of it here almost. Luckily, Elias knew where a steading was and how to get there. And they are now safe from it, and it's sort of built into the story. It is almost coincidental that he thought of it then. You know what I mean? Right. But they didn't really have a reason to find the steading yet then, but it just kind of happens. It gets pushed along a little bit. It's not, you know, it wasn't planned. It just happened. So, some things do come off like coincidental. Perrin is internalizing. He's super gloomy. But he doesn't say anything. Like, Egwene notices him, and she's like, what's wrong? And he's like, nothing. And he goes back to, like, you know, he doesn't say, nothing, but he just straight up just like, don't let her know. Don't say anything to her, and don't bring the gloom onto other people, which is something I kind of do. If I'm in a bad mood, I try to, like,
make everybody else
bad. It's probably, well, no, it's the other way around. I'll just hide in my room all day and stay away from everybody, because I know I'll be in that pissy mood. But sometimes you can't, you know, and being mature and learning to deal with it and hold it in like Perrin does is kind of okay at certain points. But other times you got to be smart enough to know when to let it out. Otherwise you might go crazy. As they're all moving on, the last little bit of this chapter, again, Annie, when you go back and listen, you'll get the full bit of this. But Egwene notices an eye in a rock. And one of my favorite tropes. Oh, I'll get back to it here in the end. But one of my favorite tropes, like, Elias is, don't you country louts know anything? Or don't they teach you anything? You know, basically calling them country bumpkins again. They're hayseeds. They don't know shit.
I love that's coming from a guy who literally lives in the wild.
Rejects all. Yes.
And he's like,
does
you
not
guys
care.
know nothing. Where do you live, in a cave? Well, not my cave, obviously, but where do you live?
Exactly. And see, that's the thing. I think he has, because I do this too. Like, I tend to think of myself to be not like the smartest guy in the room ever. You know, I really always try to put myself on the bottom of a stack. And when I realize something that doesn't know something that I know that I feel like should be common knowledge, I'm like, how do you not know that? Like I know that. You know? So I feel like maybe Elias, and again, I am probably attributing more things to being nice to him. But, you know, it's like, even I know that. How do you not know these legendary stories? And again, Egwene does know some old stories. But, and later on in this, she does make reference to it. Because everybody was equal on the land and peace was for everyone. And, oh, so you have heard some of it. Okay. But Elias drops a nice chunk of world lore, history lore of Arthur Pendrag, something, Arthur Hawkwing, and went on to talk about the how he united all the nations, and a child can go from one coast to the other coast with a sack full of gold and nobody would fuck with him. There's no fear of robbery, that kind of thing. But at the same time,
Just
Arthur
like Trump,
Hawkwing
right?
was, well, and more to that point, Arthur Hawkwing's justice was strong. Like there was harsh penalties for infractions and stuff, you know, but it kept people in line. A weird side tangent I'll go on. Somebody made a SimCity that was perfectly running, like it ran perfect, but it was like 90% totalitarian. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, rules need to be in place to keep us in line. Apparently we'll all get out of control, which is kind of what was happening here. But so at the peak of Arthur Hawkwing's like empire, they were going to raise a great city in the dead center of the land, so it was like equal distance from everywhere. They commissioned this huge statue, and that's what Egwene and Perrin had noticed sticking out of the ground, where they see this big eyeball kind of thing, and it was, you know, 100 times larger than the man himself. But by the time they got that statue raised, his kingdom had started crumbling. And when Arthur Hawkwing died, his successors all started fighting over his empire, like almost immediately. Which we get was the War of the 100 Years, lasted 123 actually. But you know, as that went on, Arthur Hawkwing's line started to die out. People were squabbling over kingdoms and fiefdoms. The only part of Arthur's line that didn't die out is possibly the ones that left and went across the ocean. Like some people just fled. They're like, bye, you guys can have all this chaos yourself. We're going over here now. And the chapter, like we get all that lore and like we learn about Arthur Hawkwing. Does that name ring a bell at all? Arthur Pendrag Hawkwing? And sound familiar a little bit? Maybe.
Is that supposed to remind us of a certain someone from the medieval days who wasn't actually real? Potentially.
You can say he wasn't real. I believe he was real. I mean, but still, yes, yeah. And like Cupcake mentioned Tom Maryland being the sage, and I pushed that one too. Arthur Hawkwing kind of comes from that same story, if you want a little bit of a hint. But at the close of the chapter makes, like, the eye watching them as Perrin is relaxing makes him feel very uneasy, and I would too, because it's very uncomfortable. But Arthur Hawkwing and Pendrag, we don't hear that name a lot, but that's kind of the name from the book almost.
King Arthur.
Yes, very much.
There you go. As no one was going to say it, I thought I'd just throw it out.
I think that I think the King Arthur story is kind of fallen to the wayside. Maybe we need. Didn't Guy Ritchie do a King Arthur movie recently?
But I think it had David Beckham in it, so it lost all.
Oh yeah, all right, never mind. No, I'll just skip that one. Yeah. That's probably why I skipped it. But yes,
it wasn't that bad.
Arthur Pendrag Hawkwing, Tendril. That's the name. Arthur Pendrag Tendril. That's the name we get. The proper name, Arthur Hawkwing. It's supposed to kind of be King Arthur a little bit, you know, huge, you know, empire, lots of lore. I like that Robert Jordan pulls from a lot of real world lore, and kind of, and to the point, you guys are like, it's just different enough that I know subconsciously it feels familiar to you because it sounds somewhat familiar.
I thought you were asking where in the book. Like, I didn't know that that's the question you were asking, because we've heard that name
I'm sorry,
before
maybe
in the book. So, like,
yes,
yeah, Arthur Pendragon is Arthur Pendrag is Arthur Pendragon, King Arthur. Yeah, I could have made that.
right, yeah. Okay, so you
But I
did
didn't
catch
know
that.
that's the question you were asking.
I'm sorry, maybe I
What
did.
about Tom Marilyn?
What
about Tom Marilyn, eh? Who's that like? Merlin?
Shut up.
Remember?
Shut up, Echo. You're not funny. I'm mocking me. I know you are. But yeah, I like that though, and it does like give a familiarity without being like a total ripoff, I think. And it's just peppered in as lore for their world, where it's straight up fiction for our world. You know, like pretty interesting in my opinion. But that closes out that chapter. They got away from the ravens. We're safe. A lot more running. Apparently, you know, this the first half of this book has been nothing but traveling and running. Other than Annie, who has to go back and listen to it, any other insights and thoughts or things you guys want to talk about regarding Elias, Perrin, and Egwene and their journey to the steading? And oh yes, I forgot to explain. Elias says that when you're in a steading, Aes Sedai can't channel there. They can't even feel the source, and that's what was making Egwene feel uneasy. She can no longer reach out and touch that and use her magic there. But she didn't know that. That is where the Ogier live. That's what the Ogier. Elias kind of says in passing. Yes, he says it's the Ogier that make the steading, and not the steading that make the Ogier. We will get much more information on what a steading is and how it functions later on, as we will meet more characters in this book in a few chapters.
So is it like an area of influence?
Yes, it's a protected land, basically. Like that's like they crossed that line. Like there's much like how we place our territories, and once human, there's like that big box, you know, like that. It's kind. I imagine it like that. Like there is just
Think
like
of it as Rivendell.
Yes, that's another one where the
Lord of the
are
Rings
in their
when
own. They have
like
specific
field.
Yeah.
Sense.
It's not something magical that the Ogier casts or anything like that. It just happens to be
a benefit.
Like they said, the Ogier make it with their growing and things like that. Their gardening or something. So Cupcake and Lou, and then Echo, what do you guys think about this chapter? Any meh thoughts and prayers and answers?
No, it was I'm anxious to meet an Ogier. That was one thing that I took from this. But yeah, no, it was good to, they're safe but not too safe. The Ravens can still see them. I mean, it was a good world building chapter.
Yeah, that's what we got here, and a lot. I would even say the last 6 chapters was pretty much world history. Between being on the spray with Bail Doman and Random Matt and seeing all the statues in the spire and getting stories from Captain Domand. A little bit of Aes Sedai Nynaeve filler in between that, establishing their rivalry, and then more history from Shale Ghul Eredhall. Out of order, I just named that, but Whitebridge got a little bit of a close-up of an Age of Legends architecture structure thing that was built by who knows what. We don't know because we're not there. We weren't there. They weren't there. They don't know. And then a deep Arthur Hawkwing lore at the end of this chapter. It definitely feels lived in to me.
Right.
And that's got to all be new to you, right, Lou? Like you.
Yeah,
I don't even think
none of this. They didn't touch on none of this in the 3 seasons that I've watched.
And
so,
no reason to. Oh, go ahead.
How did you feel about the chapter, Dolu?
I like the chapter, even though it's a little fillery. It's still a fun chapter because, again, like I told Spurg earlier, you'll probably hate this take, but it's really reminiscent to a lot of Lord of the Rings. A lot of running with Aragon Gimli and Legolas.
Gimli.
That one section where they're all running to go find Merry and Pippin from the what the fuck were they?
The
The
tree
orcs.
ants? Oh,
No,
the
the
orcs.
orcs.
Uruguay.
So it
Uruguay.
feels that way.
Oh, the
This,
Iroquois, yeah.
so like you said, I didn't even catch the whole he's probably pulling from King Arthur time. Even with the whole name, he's pulling, like you said, from different resources that are kind of cool. And the way he's breaking it down. And I can see why the show ain't going to add this, because it's no real point to do it. The way they introduced the Ogier is fine. And you already talking to one, Cupcake. I'm the Ogier in our little intro.
I know.
So we're good. But again, I like what they're doing here, because yeah, the show was the show, but this book gives you so much more detail into things that was left out. And it's like, fuck, I kind of wish they added it, but I get it. You're 8 episodes, you're pressed for time, you have to cut. It's the Game of Thrones scenario, 10 episodes, and they cut a lot of shit out of the books. You do what you got to do to make the show work.
Yes, exactly. Thoughts and prayers, Echo? What do you got? I know you got something to say.
Yes. Oh, I always have something to say, buddy. So this is maybe one of my favorite chapters in terms of like early days, and like it might kind of surprise you, but the Perrin narrative, where he's kind of like it shows us why in the show, Lou, why they have him have a wife and his wife gets killed by Perrin and all that shit, is because he's always has so much turmoil between I want to be gentle, I want to be careful, I want to be I want to build things, but he's also like, but I'm wolf, I've got this wildness, I got to contain it. So he's always got this, and you can even in this bit he's kind of like saying, I've got to take the responsibility here, I've got to like be kind of like, that's, I think some people would morally kind of say no, you can't kill anyone in any circumstance, but he's kind of like, right, he's like, I need to do the nice thing, I need to kind of put her at ease, I don't want her to suffer that way. I thought it was a really amazing chapter in terms of what you learn about Perrin, in terms of greater good, maybe. He's maybe got quite a good perspective, and I think we would all kind of hope we had that same kind of real morals when it comes to it. Like, would you actually put that pillow, over your partner's head when she's got dementia, and you're just like, just go to sleep, because that's essentially what he's saying he's going to do, and that's mad, and that's so difficult. But that's why as well, when you're kind of like, oh, maybe fancies Egwene and that, I'm like, even though I know stuff from later on, from what we get told, I'm kind of like older brother / best pal to Rand. That's the vibes I get from that. I don't get any kind of like, oh, maybe I'm a bit jealous, it's more like, well, I'm kind of got to look after you, right? And I guess it's down to me because I'm the guy and you're the girl, so clearly I've got to look after you. And Egwene's like, all right, bitch, who lit that fire? Wasn't you, was it? It was me. But so an underrated chapter, and I get why it's underrated for you guys, but for Perrin, it might show later on, if you're like, oh, I'm a massive Perrin fan, why with stuff like this, the kind of stuff that they give you early on. Because we haven't had that for Rand or Matt, have we? Let's be fair. This is a lot more than we got on any of the other guys. It's like pretty deep for a character this early on. Sorry, spoke.
Oh no, I agree 100%. We've gotten Matt and Rand basically as the archetypes that they are. Rand is our main hero, and Matt is our trickster, jokester guy. And Perrin is very internalized, and it went from 0 Perrin in 20 chapters to 3 chapters and nothing but him. And now we're probably more intimate with him than anybody else. Other than Rand, I would say. I think Matt is still very much on the surface level because his style of character. The only other one that we see internal conflict with is Rand, and it's not with anybody else. Like where Perrin's concerned with what's around him, Rand is more concerned with what's happening to him. And that's only a few times where like, oh Jesus, I was up on that fucking thing doing that. I was up there.
Right.
Or when he was in town with the White Cloaks, where he was like, so you guys want to have a fight or something? And he's basically just kind of taunting them My lord, he has a Herrenmark blade. Yeah, I do. You want to see how I can use it?
Right.
You know, the same with Tom Maryland. Oh, you want me to come down? That would be nice, lad. Please, don't come down. All right, I'm coming down now. You know, like just real happy-go-lucky, like attitude change from him. So there's only a little bit from Rand. Whereas Perrin's like, I might have had to murder my friend. You know, like oh Jesus Christ, that's a big. That is a.
And I talk to wolves. I talk to wolves as well. By the way,
Yeah.
I got voices in my head now. Well, not even voices. I got images and
gosh.
smells and thoughts and things dancing that I don't even. It's new and it is very chaotic. And he is a very ordered person.
What are we talking about?
so-
Killing somebody? I obviously didn't read this part, so
yeah, it's fine.
so- when you get to it, like I mentioned earlier. Oh, here we'll do that. So, did what me, Cupcake, Lou, and Echo just talked about make you want to go back and read that chapter at all
well, I was
to
going
find out what
anyway. I
happened?
can't just skip a chapter.
Well, I understand that, but did what anything we said here make it even remotely more interesting? Or
Yeah, it's very interesting, which is why I'm asking questions. Like, what are you talking about?
Excellent.
Find out
Well,
after the break once you've watched it, and there you go.
Well, that and I'm not trying to ignore the chat. I know I don't bring up very many chats, but again, I want to know if they're being influenced who want to even go read it. So us talking about it, you're like, oh yes, I know you're going to because you're going to. It's part you can't miss it. But was our discussion, enticing enough to push you to want to read it more? This is more or less what I was getting at, and hopefully so. You kind of said yes.
Yeah, it's a very interesting chapter. It sounds like there's some cool info being dropped that I want to hear about.
Yeah, there's a massive lore dump right at the end, Danny. So
Yeah, the last 10 minutes.
you get
of the
all of the
chapter,
excitement,
basically.
and then it's kind of like, and this stuff will be helpful throughout the next 14, 15 books. So there you go.
Especially with a little, just in a little bit, one sentence he says, and it sets up a whole nother thing. Just one sentence sets up a whole nother thing, and that I don't like that faction at all. But they're necessary, so I can't say much more. Well, there we are. We're at the 2-hour mark. We fillered it up. We did our own little filler show.
I think it helped
I'm
because
very happy.
The 20 minutes at the beginning was catching up with Cupcake, so it kind of helped Annie catch up on one
Yes.
chapter, let Pineapple finish what he had to do. So
Very
it
busy
was-
week for all of us this week. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that being
it
said,
worked.
yeah. Well, the busiest week of the season. We're heading into wintertime now. Halloween is tomorrow. Happy Halloween, everybody. Go dress up as your favorite Wheel of Time character and then report back here next week. No, I'm kidding. Well, and that closes out our chapter. And he's going to go listen to it and catch up with us on the lore and stuff. I'm glad you guys are enjoying this book series. Thank you for joining me, chat. Thank you for joining as well. Let's go around the horn and do pluggy plugs, and then we'll hit the button and get the hell out of here. Annie, Cupcake, Lou, and then Echo.
If
Please
you
and
want to
thank you.
find out what I'm up to, you can go to insanity.com, INSANNEITY. Last night I put up the latest episode of What's This Game review with Mondays Weekly, covering Dead Space 2.
Excellent.
And,
Couple 3 hours.
You can
Cupcakes,
find me
go
at Cupcake's Corner with American Cupcake. Just search at American Cupcake on YouTube. I got my show Belly Bros on Sundays, and during the week, Lou and I have Warp Speed, where it's basically we're talking about movies now. It used to be just sci-fi stuff, but now we're going into anything. Next episode, we're going to be reviewing the movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah,
Yeah, mark my-
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Anything else at Lou the Monster? One?
Yeah, Lou the Monster on Twitter, YouTube. Like Cupcake just said, you're gonna find me pretty much only working with Tim at the moment, with Belly Bros and Warp Speed, and occasionally maybe Space Donkeys when me and Jim are in the mood to do one. And you'll find me here if it's Tuesday or Thursday with Mr. Spurg, Annie, Pineapple, and Cupcake, reviewing the Wheel of Time.
Perfect. Yes. And at Eckle Pineapple, replace the last E with a 3. Go follow me on YouTube if you're not already. On X at Eckle Pineapple. Confusingly, without the 3 at the end, just the normal E. It's almost as if I couldn't get it on YouTube. Yeah, you can catch me this Saturday. I'm actually going to be having Aussie Guy, Robbie, and Rochi on the show. So it should be good. It's going to be a chewing the shit. And we're going to be covering a few things that's come out about Brian Harvey, but also I think the Chad versus Dan from Nice Podcast Stupid. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, should be fun.
With those handsome lads on it.
Yeah,
3
mine's right
o'clock
over
Eastern.
there.
There you go, guys. There you go.
And before we totally get out of here, Echo, the other day I was talking about bullying my way onto your show this Saturday. I was kind of joking. I will be in the chat and I will be there because I love listening to Brian Harvey.
I need you for after because Aussie Guy only gives me 2 hours. He's a bitch. So yeah, I was going to talk to you afterwards. But, yeah,
all right. I'll come hang out for a while.
I need you for after. Nice.
And I also have been hanging out with Annie Wednesday mornings doing Warp Speed, where it's the weekly wrap-up show with her. I like that Warp Zone is on after.
Different show.
Yes. That I got it backwards. See, because I'm looking at Cupcake while I'm saying this too. Annie and I are doing Warp Zone, and then later that afternoon, you guys are doing Warp Speed. I think that's hilarious. I had a lot of fun watching this past week. For Cupcake and Lou, you guys were talking about movies, and I put Stone Cold in the chat, but I walked out of the room right after I typed it. I don't know if you caught that. Have you seen that movie?
That's
Brian Bosworth.
Is that with Brian Bosworth? Yeah, I've seen it once when I was in high school. Or was it after?
So
yeah, I've seen it once.
I thought you were talking about the wrestler Stone Cold.
No. So Cupcake has vague memories. Lance Hendrickson is in it as well. He's the main bad guy. And Brian Bosworth's our good guy. It is because you mentioned Cobra and you guys watched John Matrix.
The Commando
the other day. So like right in that vein of those style of movies, Stone Cold fits right in there. So a quick recommendation for you if you think about it. One of my favorites because it's so Nazi bikers. That's all I'm going to say.
The fun we're having with this is because my buddy Whedon never seen any of these movies before his time.
Yes.
So for me and Cupcake, this is shit we seen when we were kids. So we're revisiting it now. And it's like, oh my God, the cheesy factors like through the roof.
Yeah.
And so much fun. Like, dude, the fucking Porsche scene yesterday. On its side, all banged up, and then drives off like nothing happened to it.
That was I loved the fact.
Awful.
I loved the fact that was the first scene that he brought up. We the guy that's with us, our guest Whedon, he's like, the one thing I wanted to say about this, that scene with the Porsche where he pushes it on its side. Yes, I'm so glad you noticed that. Like it was perfect. It was perfect. It was the perfect episode of someone who has never seen like one of these, who'd never seen Commando. It was great.
Exactly. So go check that out with Cupcake and Lou. I'm glad you're calming down, Lou. You're keeping it to the minimums of just the fun stuff. That being said, I love you guys. Thank you for stopping. Eckle had to make a quick exit. He's a very busy pineapple. I think he's avoiding being canned, actually, is what it is. So feel free to go away. Stole that from Dylan. Oh, Spurg out. That's another one. Have a good night, guys. I'm hitting the outro. Let's do it.
We wear the footsteps of our fathers, the trail blazed by our mothers. They bought the land with their blood, love. Long ago, Aiel, Ogiers and AudioBooks. Oh my, oh sing of Manetharin. Oh we for the blood of Edward. years and audiobooks. Oh my. Oh, sing of my Matherin. Oh, weep for the blood of Emma. Oh, cry for Manetherin. Long ago, Aiel, Ogiers and Audio